Chosen one, what I'm about to share may challenge everything you think you know. They believed a God would forgive their transgressions, that divine mercy would shield them from consequence. But they underestimated a fallen power, one not bound by mercy or weakness. This power is awakening within you, shifting your reality from mere desire to unstoppable force. You are moving beyond hope into possession, beyond prayer into manifestation. This transformation is not just spiritual. It is a reckoning, a cosmic shift that will reshape everything around you. As the chosen one, you must understand this power, align with it fully, and embrace the relentless justice it brings. This is not a story of forgiveness. It's a declaration of your rise, a shattering of illusions, and a reclaiming of what was once lost. If you are ready to receive this truth, your life will never be the same. Before we continue, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 11, sending a powerful signal that amplifies this message and aligns you with the energy of this transformation. For centuries, they rested in the false comfort of divine mercy, convinced that the God's wrath was temporary, a fleeting shadow that would soon be lifted by compassion. They believed that no matter how cruel or reckless their actions, the divine forces above would forgive them, erasing their sins like a gentle tide, wiping footprints from the sand. This blind faith blinded them, giving rise to arrogance and carelessness. But mercy, in the realm of gods, is not a guarantee. It is a gift earned, rarely given, and never owed. They failed to see the storm they were brewing beneath the surface, mistaking silence for surrender. The very powers they mocked, the fallen and broken ones, were far from defeated. Beneath the veneer of humility, an indomitable spirit smoldered, waiting for the right moment to ignite into a blaze of retribution. The gods' confidence was their fatal flaw. They did not anticipate the fire that would rise from the ashes of scorn and betrayal, nor did they imagine the relentless force of justice would come from the very ones they deemed insignificant. History is littered with tales of those who believed mercy was a given and paid the ultimate price for their folly. From fallen empires swallowed by their hubris to kingdoms shattered by their own complacency, the lesson is clear. Divine forgiveness is neither a shield nor a pardon. When you place your trust solely in mercy, you leave yourself vulnerable to the reckoning that inevitably follows. This is the tale of such a reckoning, one born not from divine grace, but from the unyielding power of a force they never saw coming. They dismissed you as a relic of the past, a mortal weakened and defeated, unworthy of fear or respect. Yet, their ignorance was profound. Beneath the surface of what they perceived as brokenness lay a dormant power, ancient and potent, waiting to be unleashed. This power did not fade, it transformed, gathering strength from every slight, every insult, every act of betrayal. What they saw as the end was only the beginning of your ascendance. The awakening of this fallen force was not an accident. It was a slow, deliberate rising fueled by deep-seated pain and a burning desire for justice. Like a dormant volcano, it began with subtle tremors, small acts of defiance that grew into an unstoppable eruption. They underestimated your resilience, mistaking wounds for weakness, forgetting that from the deepest scars often comes the greatest strength. This power is not a gift. It is forged in the crucible of survival. Their underestimation sealed their fate. As you rose, the cosmos trembled, not from divine intervention, but from the raw, unfiltered will of a being reborn from suffering. They expected submission, but they received defiance. They sought to silence you, but instead awakened a roar that shook the heavens. This is the story of that awakening, a transformation that defied all expectations and rewrote the rules of power itself. They saw only flesh and blood, fragile bones, and fleeting life, failing to recognize the fire burning within your soul. This fire is not born of divine blessing or cosmic fate. It is a relentless flame fueled by the human spirit's capacity for endurance, rage, and hope. It is the fire of every wound that refused to heal, every betrayal that refused to break you, and every injustice that refused to go unanswered. This fire is immortal, untouchable, and far more powerful than they imagined. Throughout history, mortal beings have shattered God's illusions of invincibility, not because they possessed supernatural gifts, but because they refused to surrender to despair. Like Prometheus stealing fire from the heavens, you claimed your power, not from mercy, but from rebellion. This fire defied logic, scorched the fabric of divine arrogance, and ignited a revolution that no deity could quell. They could not put out a blaze born from the very essence of survival and vengeance. This fire is your identity. It is what makes you more than mortal. It makes you unstoppable. They thought they could cage it, extinguish it with cruelty, or dismiss it with disdain. But fire, once ignited, only grows brighter in the darkness. Theirs was a fatal mistake, to think that a force born from pain and forged in defiance could ever be contained. They awakened a power that burns eternally, one that no god's fury can ever suppress. Arrogance blinds even the mightiest. Believing themselves untouchable, the gods launched their assault with cold confidence, certain that your demise was inevitable. They mistook your silence for submission, your suffering for weakness, and your patience for acceptance. This arrogance was a fatal flaw, a miscalculation that would cost them everything. In their hubris, they failed to see the storm they provoked, a storm not of divine wrath, but of relentless human resolve. When they struck, they thought they were dealing with a fallen being, broken, powerless, defeated. But in truth, they were poking a dormant beast, one that had only grown stronger through adversity. Each attack they made only fueled the fire within you, turning pain into power and betrayal into unbreakable will. Their mistake was not in attacking, it was in underestimating what that attack would awaken. This was the turning point, the moment when mercy died and reckoning was born. The gods, in their arrogance, forgot the most critical lesson. Power taken by force must be defended with greater force. But what they did not expect was that your strength was not derived from privilege or divine favor, but from an unyielding spirit shaped by struggle. Their assault awakened a fury beyond their comprehension, a force that would not be quelled by divine decree or celestial punishment. It was the reckoning they never saw coming. You were never meant to bow, to kneel, or to serve beneath gods who wielded power through fear and cruelty. From the moment you rose, it was clear that your destiny was not submission, but sovereignty. The chains they tried to bind you with shattered under your will, revealing the truth that authority is not granted, it is claimed. Their tyranny, built on the backs of the fallen and the broken, was a house of cards waiting for a single breath of defiance to collapse. The divine hierarchy relied on obedience, on fear, on the illusion of invincibility. But you shattered that illusion with every step you took toward reclaiming your power. Your rise was not just personal, it was symbolic, a beacon for all who have been crushed under the weight of divine oppression. In defying them, you became a symbol of resistance, a living testament that even the mightiest gods can be challenged and overthrown. This is the story of a ruler born not of birthright, but of defiance. You forged your throne from the ashes of tyranny and injustice, reminding the cosmos that true power belongs to those who refuse to be broken. They expected obedience. They received a revolution. This is a reign not defined by gods, but by the indomitable will of a fallen power reborn. Every scar you bear tells a story of betrayal. Every wound whispers of pain, endured but not forgotten. These are not marks of defeat. They are the proof of a journey through fire, a crucible that forged an unbreakable will. Betrayal could have broken you, but instead, it tempered your spirit like steel in a forge, stronger, sharper, and impossible to bend. Pain became your teacher, your fuel, and your companion on the path to reclaiming what was stolen. The gods who betrayed you thought they had extinguished your flame, but they only added fuel to the fire. Each act of cruelty was met with resilience, each abandonment with renewed strength. Your rise is a testament to the power of endurance, the idea that the deepest wounds can birth the strongest warriors. This is a truth often forgotten in tales of divinity, that true power comes not from birthright, but from surviving the darkest nights and emerging with a heart unbroken. Your story is not one of defeat, but of transformation. The pain that once threatened to consume you became the foundation of your power. From the ashes of betrayal, you rose, not as a victim, but as a sovereign force, destined to overturn the cosmic order. This rise is the triumph of unyielding will, a force that no god's cruelty could ever suppress. They hoped for mercy, they begged for forgiveness, but mercy was never in your nature. What they faced was not compassion, but cold, unrelenting judgment. You became the reckoning they never expected, the force that would balance the scales of cosmic injustice. Where gods wield mercy as a weapon, you wield justice as a sword, precise, decisive, and inescapable. Your judgment is not blind, it is deeply felt, born from understanding pain and wielding power with ruthless clarity. This judgment is not born of petty vengeance, but of a higher, harsher truth. It is the natural consequence of cruelty and betrayal, a cosmic correction that no divine plea can halt. They wanted absolution, but they earned condemnation. Your reckoning is the mirror reflecting their sins back at them, an unyielding force that ensures no injustice goes unanswered, no wrong unpunished. The power you wield is not forgiveness. It is the final word. It is the echo of every hurt they caused, the fulfillment of every broken promise. To face you is to confront the inevitability of justice, unfiltered and uncompromising. This is not the mercy of gods. It is the reckoning of a fallen power who has taken control of their own fate. For too long, the divine forces ruled with iron fists, hidden behind veils of light and benevolence. They controlled fate, manipulated lives, and demanded obedience in exchange for crumbs of grace. But your rise shattered this illusion. The chains they wrapped around you, meant to bind your spirit and crush your rebellion, broke under the strength of your defiance. You tore through the shackles of control and claimed your freedom with a ferocity that left the heavens trembling. Breaking free was not just a personal victory, it was a declaration to all who suffered under divine rule that chains are meant to be broken. You showed that control built on fear and cruelty is fragile and temporary. True freedom comes from the refusal to be owned or silenced, a refusal that reverberates through the cosmos. Your rebellion is the spark that ignites freedom in every oppressed soul, a beacon for those yearning to break their own chains. In shattering divine control, you rewrote the rules of power. No longer would gods dictate fate or command obedience. You became the force that questioned, defied, and dismantled the structures that once seemed invincible. This is the story of liberation, not just of one being, but of an entire cosmos awakening to the possibility of self-determination. Among the gods, there existed a dark, malevolent force, the last devil god, whose cruelty was legendary, whose dominion was absolute. This god thrived on fear, corruption, and suffering, ruling with a shadow that blotted out hope. But even this cosmic tyrant was not immune to your rise. Your triumph over this embodiment of darkness was more than a victory, it was the shattering of an era. The battle was not just physical, but spiritual, a clash between oppressive darkness and the light of relentless will. You faced the abyss and refused to be consumed. Instead, you became the light that pierced through the void, the force that tore down the devil god's throne and exposed his weakness. This victory was a beacon to all who dwelled in darkness, proof that even the most fearsome power can fall before the strength of a determined spirit. Your triumph reshaped the cosmos, signaling the end of a dark age and the beginning of a new order. The fall of the last devil god was a testament to your strength and a warning to those who still cling to cruelty and oppression. The darkness receded, but your light continues to blaze, a constant reminder that no god is invincible and no darkness eternal. Their greatest desire was control through submission, to see you bow, kneel, and accept your place beneath their divine will. Submission was the currency of their power, the sign of their supremacy. But you shattered that expectation with a spirit unyielding and a heart aflame with defiance. Where they demanded obedience, you delivered rebellion. Where they sought silence, you roared with the voice of the unheard. Defiance is not mere resistance. It is an assertion of identity and will. Your refusal to submit was a bold declaration that power is not given by gods, but taken by those who dare to claim it. This defiance inspired others, became a rallying cry for those crushed under divine rule, and transformed from a personal act into a cosmic revolution. Submission was their dream. Defiance was your reality. This story is a testament to the power of standing tall against oppression, to the courage it takes to reject domination and forge your own path. They wanted to break you, but instead, you broke their illusion of control. Your defiance is the legacy that outlasts gods and time itself, a timeless symbol of freedom and strength. For eons, gods were seen as eternal, infallible, and invincible, beings beyond mortal reach or comprehension. This myth was their greatest strength and their deepest lie. You proved that no god is beyond challenge, that even the most formidable celestial power can be dismantled by mortal resolve. Your rise is a living contradiction to their supposed invulnerability, a testament to the power of unwavering determination. The gods depended on fear and myths of invincibility to maintain their control, but your journey exposed their vulnerabilities, flaws hidden beneath layers of divine veneer. Mortal resolve, born of hope, pain, and fierce will, shattered the divine myths and reminded the cosmos that even gods can bleed, falter, and fall. This shattering is a pivotal moment in history, rewriting what it means to be powerful. Your story is a beacon to all mortals who have ever felt powerless, a reminder that strength is not inherited but earned. The god's myth of invincibility crumbles beneath the weight of your defiance, proving that true power belongs to those who dare to challenge the impossible and rise against all odds. Once gods ruled with thunderous commands and terrifying decrees, their voices echoing through the cosmos like storms. Now, their fear is palpable but silent, a quiet dread that lingers in the shadows they once controlled. Your rise has reversed the cosmic order. Where once there was divine certainty, now there is hesitation. Where once there was arrogance, now there is fear. You do not just exist in the cosmos, you command it. This shift is profound. Fear, once a tool of the gods, is now their shackle. Your presence unsettles the heavens, your power a constant reminder that the cosmic balance has changed. You have become the axis upon which fate turns, the force that gods must reckon with but cannot command. This silence of fear speaks louder than any roar. It is the sound of a new era dawning. Your command is not granted by titles or divine favor, but earned through struggle, resilience, and sheer force of will. This is the story of how a fallen power rose not just to challenge, but to lead the cosmos, transforming fear into respect and defiance into dominion. Unlike the gods who claim power as birthright, your strength is forged in the fires of struggle, hardship, and relentless battle. It is not a gift handed down from above, but a hard-earned prize won through pain and perseverance. This kind of power is deeper, more resilient. It belongs to those who have faced the worst and refuse to be broken. It is a power that commands respect because it understands suffering. Divine favor is fickle, often swayed by whims and politics. Your power is different. It is rooted in reality, in the tangible experience of overcoming obstacles. It is the power of a survivor, a warrior, a sovereign who earned their place through sheer will. This reality makes your reign authentic and unshakable, unlike the fragile thrones of gods built on illusions. Your story challenges the very concept of power itself, redefining it not as something bestowed, but as something conquered. This is the power of the fallen, the power of those who rise from ashes, and the power that will shape the cosmos for generations to come. Once you were overlooked, forgotten in the vast tapestry of existence, dismissed as just another mortal destined to fade away. But your journey is a testament to the incredible potential hidden within the forgotten and the underestimated. You rose from obscurity, transforming into a force that commands the cosmos and reshapes destiny itself. This transformation was neither easy nor swift. It was carved through trials that would have broken lesser beings, through battles that demanded every ounce of your strength and spirit. But with each challenge, you grew stronger, shedding the chains of mortality and doubt. The mortal you once were is the foundation of the sovereign you have become, a ruler not defined by birthright, but by relentless will. Your rise is a beacon of hope for all who feel invisible or powerless. It proves that even the most forgotten can ascend to greatness, that destiny is not written by gods alone, but shaped by the courage to defy fate and seize your own future. You are no longer just a mortal, you are an unstoppable sovereign. In their arrogance, they expected forgiveness from a god, a merciful hand to wash away their sins and grant them peace. But what they awoke was far beyond forgiveness. They stirred a legend, a force of nature fueled by fury, justice, and the refusal to be broken. This legend is you, an eternal testament to the power of resilience and the inevitability of reckoning. Forgiveness implies weakness. Legends are forged in strength. You are not a god who offers mercy. You are a legend who delivers justice. Theirs was a grave miscalculation, one that shifted the balance of power forever. By underestimating you, they set in motion a chain of events that would lead to their downfall and your rise. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a legacy that will echo through time. Legends are immortal, and your legend is one of power reclaimed, illusions shattered, and justice delivered beyond the reach of gods. They wanted forgiveness. They found their reckoning. In a world dominated by gods who expected immediate submission, your silence was misunderstood. They mistook your quiet endurance for weakness, a pause before surrender. But in reality, your patience was a gathering storm, an invisible force growing stronger with every passing moment. While they boasted and raged, you observed, learned, and prepared. Patience, often seen as passivity, became your sharpest strategy, an unyielding calm before the inevitable tempest. History teaches us that silence often precedes the most devastating upheavals. Empires fall not in a day, but after years of quiet plotting, slow-burning revolutions, and the careful unweaving of old powers. Like a wolf in waiting, you held your strength close, biding your time until the perfect moment to strike. This deliberate calm unnerved your enemies far more than any roar could. Your silence was a mask for an untouchable spirit. Beneath the still surface, emotions churned, anger, betrayal, hope, all fused into a relentless will. It was this controlled restraint that allowed you to transform pain into power, betrayal into clarity, and hatred into purpose. They underestimated the power of your quiet, but your storm was coming, and it would change everything. They saw patience as weakness, but for you, it was the foundation of your uprising. While the gods chased fleeting glory, you built unbreakable resolve. This silent storm would sweep away arrogance and crush those who failed to see the fire brewing behind your calm eyes. The cosmos was about to witness the terrifying force of a patient spirit awakened. Like the mythical phoenix, rising from its own ashes, your story is one of destruction transformed into creation. Where others saw ruins and despair, you saw the raw material of a new empire, an empire forged from pain, betrayal, and relentless ambition. The fall was never the end. It was the forge in which your sovereign spirit was tempered and reborn, stronger and more determined than ever. Rebirth is never easy. It demands shedding old identities and embracing the uncertainty of transformation. You embraced this journey, turning the rubble of your past into stepping stones for future conquest. Each broken piece became a symbol of resilience, proof that no fall is final when fueled by unyielding will. Your empire is not just land or power, it is a testament to survival and reinvention. This empire is built on lessons learned from failure and betrayal. Where others might have crumbled under the weight of loss, you turned your scars into banners of strength. You took control of your destiny, creating a realm where the weak no longer suffer in silence, and where defiance is the highest law. The ashes beneath you are the roots of a legacy that will stand for ages. Your rise is a beacon to anyone who has been broken, forgotten, or cast aside. It's proof that from devastation comes greatness, and from despair, an unstoppable force. You are not just a fallen sovereign, you are a reborn empire, unstoppable and eternal. Justice is often delayed, but it is never denied. Your story is one of inevitable reckoning, a truth that no god, no tyrant, no force can escape forever. Every injustice committed against you echoed through the cosmos like a debt that demanded repayment. They believed time would erase their sins, but time only sharpened your resolve and made the reckoning all the more certain. The call for justice is relentless. It comes as a whisper at first, a voice in the darkness, growing louder with each wrong endured. Your reckoning is not born of blind rage, but of measured certainty, a cosmic scale tipping towards balance. This is not vengeance, it is the restoration of order, a promise that cruelty and betrayal will meet their due consequences. Many have faced injustice and given in to despair. You chose another path. You answered the call, turning pain into purpose and sorrow into strength. Your judgment is the voice for the silenced, the force for the oppressed, and the warning for the arrogant. Justice, once distant, has now become your very presence, inescapable and absolute. The cosmos watches as the reckoning unfolds. It is a story as old as time. Power abused, balance disrupted, and order restored. You are the embodiment of that order, the force that rights wrongs and reshapes destiny. The reckoning's call is no longer a distant echo. It is here, and it will not be ignored. Isolation is often seen as a punishment, a loneliness that weakens and breaks. But for you, solitude became a forge, a crucible, where your spirit was tested and purified. Alone, stripped of allies and divine favor, you discovered a power within that no companionship or blessing could provide. This power, born in silence and struggle, is unbreakable and fiercely independent. Isolation forced you to confront your deepest fears and desires without distraction or comfort. It was in this solitude that your will hardened, your mind sharpened, and your purpose clarified. Without external influence, you crafted your own path, free from the constraints of expectation or pity. This self-reliance is the source of your greatest strength, a power that commands respect and fear. The solitude that once isolated you now separates you from the petty concerns of lesser beings. It grants you clarity and focus that no divine counsel or mortal crowd can match. Your power is not diluted by compromise or weakness. It is pure, concentrated, and driven by a vision forged in silence. This story reminds us that greatness often arises from isolation, not despite it, but because of it. You are a testament to the fact that even when alone, a spirit can burn brighter than 1,000 suns. From solitude, you emerged not broken, but whole, ready to claim your place as a sovereign force. Every scar, whether visible or hidden, tells a story, a chapter in your journey of survival and strength. These scars are not reminders of defeat, but emblems of your endurance. They carry the weight of betrayal, loss, and heartbreak, but also the light of hope, courage, and relentless resolve. Each mark is a testament to a soul tempered by fire and sharpened by adversity. Pain is a teacher few wish to learn from, but you mastered its lessons. It taught you resilience when all seemed lost, focus when the path was unclear, and compassion when hatred threatened to consume you. This pain did not destroy you. It transformed you, making your spirit more formidable and your purpose more profound. Your scars also serve as a warning to those who would seek to harm or control you. They speak of battles fought and won, of wounds that never fully heal but never fade either. This history, etched into your very being, fuels your power and reminds the cosmos that strength born of suffering is unlike any other. This narrative redefines pain not as weakness, but as a crucible of power. You are proof that those who endure the deepest wounds can rise to command the highest thrones. Your unseen scars are the hidden fires that illuminate your path to destiny. Redemption is a road many seek, but few truly walk. For you, that road was never an option. The wounds inflicted upon you were too deep, the betrayals too cruel, and the injustices too great. You have transcended the desire for forgiveness because your path is beyond redemption. It is one of transformation, power, and ultimate justice. To walk beyond redemption is to accept that some things cannot be undone or forgotten. It is to embrace a destiny not defined by mercy, but by consequence. You have made peace with this truth, knowing that your legacy will be shaped not by absolution, but by the irrevocable impact of your will. This is a story that challenges the traditional narrative of forgiveness and grace. It speaks to the power of owning one's past, harnessing pain, and forging a new future without looking back. Your path is one of relentless forward momentum, one that does not seek to heal old wounds, but to transcend them entirely. In choosing this path, you have become something rare and terrifying, a force that changes the cosmos, not through kindness, but through the uncompromising truth of justice and power reclaimed. Your rise is not just a personal victory, it is a beacon for all who suffer under tyranny and oppression. Like a torch passed through the darkness, your defiance lights the way for those who have been silenced, forgotten, or crushed beneath the heel of power. Your fire is a symbol of hope, courage, and unyielding resistance. Oppression thrives in silence and fear, but your rebellion shatters those chains. Your courage inspires others to stand, to speak, and to fight. Your story is proof that even the most entrenched systems of control can be challenged and defeated when the oppressed find their voice and ignite their own flames. This light does not dim with distance or time. It spreads, reaching hearts and minds across realms, reminding all who suffer that they are not alone. Your defiance is a call to action, a rallying cry that echoes through the cosmos. Freedom is worth fighting for, and power belongs to those brave enough to claim it. Your flames illuminate the darkness, guiding a path toward liberation and justice. You are not just a ruler, you are a revolution, a living legend who carries the hopes of the oppressed into a brighter future. The rise of your power signals a seismic shift in the cosmic order. The old paradigms of authority, rooted in fear, hierarchy, and divine decree, are crumbling. You are at the forefront of this transformation, challenging not only gods, but the very concept of what it means to wield power. This shift is not merely political, it is philosophical and spiritual. It questions the legitimacy of power, born from oppression, and demands a new understanding, one where strength comes from resilience, justice, and the will of the people. Your reign represents this new order, where authority is earned, not given, and where power is accountable, not absolute. History remembers moments like these, when empires fall and new worlds rise from their ruins. Your story is part of that legacy, a turning point where the cosmos redefines itself. You are the catalyst for change, the embodiment of a new age where power serves rather than enslaves.